Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Maryellen, the one and only. Chapter 6, Tickled Pink. On the first day of school, Maryellen woke up very early. This is it, she thought, with a shiver of nervousness. Silently, Maryellen sat up in bed. She could see her gorgeous poodle skirt waiting for her, draped neatly over the chair. Yesterday, the last day of summer vacation, Caroline had very nicely ironed her hand-me-down pink blouse, and Maryellen had polished a pair of Oxfords she had inherited from Carolyn, so they looked shiny and ready to go. Finally, Maryellen couldn't wait any longer. She anchored her feet between the mattress and the wall and dangled her head and arms off the top bunk so she could tug on Carolyn's pillow. "Carolyn," she whispered, "are you awake?" "Yes," said Carolyn right away. "Let's get up and get dressed," said Maryellen. "Okay," said Carolyn, "but be quiet. Don't wake up Joan." Maryellen, Carolyn, and even Queen Beverly had learned the hard way that Joan was very cross and snappish if she was wakened 1 minute too early. "Thanks for letting me borrow your crinoline," Maryellen said softly as Carolyn helped her slip it over her head. The crinoline would go under her skirt to make it puff out a bit more. "You're welcome," said Carolyn, who seemed almost excited as the poodle skirt as Maryellen was. Carolyn was quite a bit taller than Maryellen, so they had to pull the crinoline up to Maryellen's armpits to keep it from hanging below the hem of a poodle skirt. "I'm like a bride," joked Maryellen. "I've got something old, my shoes, and something new, my skirt, and something borrowed, your crinoline. All I need is something glued." "Well, what color's your underwear?" asked Caroline. This made both Maryellen and Carolyn dissolve into giggles. They clamped their hands over their mouths to stifle their laughter, which will, of course, made them giggle harder. "Oh, honestly," moaned Joan, rising from her pillow looking cranky. "You two are about as quiet as cackling hens." She propped herself up on her elbow and scrutinized Maryellen. "Pretty good, Ellie Delly," she said, "but your hair should be in a ponytail, and all the shoes are wrong. Poodle skirts go with sneakers or shadow suits, not Oxfords." Then she yawned and sank back in her pillow. Maryellen and Carolyn then stared down at the clunky brown Oxfords on Maryellen's feet. They both knew that Joan was right. Without saying a word, Maryellen slipped off the Oxfords. Her summer sneakers had grass stains and holes in the shoes, so she put her saddle shoes from last year. The saddle shoes fit a little too tight, but they looked, as Carolyn said softly, perfect. Then Maryellen and Carolyn wrangled Maryellen's hair into a ponytail with a scarf. Carolyn went into the bathroom, and Maryellen checked herself against the photo of Debbie Reynolds. She spotted a problem. Karen Stolman was right. Debbie Reynolds' bangs were much shorter than hers. In fact, all the movie stars and models who wore poodle skirts had short bangs. Even Mamie Eisenhower, President Eisenhower's wife, wore short bangs. Well, how hard could it be to cut my bangs? It looks easy when Mom does it," Maryellen thought. She got scissors out of the desk and snip, 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 cut her bangs on a line across her forehead. Thought Maryellen as she looked in the mirror. For some reason, her short bangs did not go across her forehead like Debbie Reynolds and Mamie Eisenhower's. Instead, her bangs slanted diagonally on one side and shorter on the other. Maryellen immediately cut the longer side to make it look match, and then looked in the mirror again. Now her bangs looked sort of zigzaggy. She was trimming the ends of them to even when Carolyn returned from the bathroom and gasped, "Stop!" Joan sat bolt upright in bed. "Oh my gosh, Ellie, you look like you got chopped by hedge clippers." "I do not," said Maryellen huffily. She didn't want to let on that, now that she looked at her bag, she was surprised, horrified actually, by what she had done. It happened so fast. Just snip, 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 and now disaster. The short, spiky bangs struck again straight out from her forehead. "I look like I have toothbrush bristles attached to my head," thought Maryellen miserably. Oh, how she wished she could tape her hair back on. Maryellen put the scissors down and gathered up the snippets of her hair from the floor. Her voice was only a little bit wavery when she said, "I think they look okay." They're much too short, said Joan, stating the obvious. Never mind, said Carolyn kindly. Your bangs will grow fast. Wait till Mom sees you, said Joan. She'll have a fit. Joan, will you cut it out, said Carolyn. You're making Ellie feel bad. How would you like to start the first day of school with a terrible haircut? Now Maryellen was upset and worried. She tugged at her bangs. If she could make them longer by pulling it, she smoothed them and pushed them down to make them lie flat, but it was no use. As soon as she took her hand off them, her bangs sprang up and stuck straight out of her forehead like a sailor salute. Girls! Mom called from the kitchen, time for breakfast. Maryellen took a deep, shuddery breath. What is Mom going to say? She wondered, full of dread. She was grateful when Carolyn grabbed her hand as they walked together in the kitchen. When Mom saw Maryellen, her eyebrows shot up. Ellie, Mom gasped. What on earth have you done? Maryellen faltered. Mom held up her hand. You don't need to tell me. I can see for myself. You cut your own bangs. Tom, whose hair struck out straight all over his head, said, I like your new bangs, Ellie. Bang! Yelled Mike. He banged his fist on a high chair tray. Bang, bang, bang! I'm sorry, Mom, Maryellen said. Are you mad? Well, said Mom, I'm surprised. But what's done is done and can't be undone. Besides, you're the one who had to wear bangs, not me. But, Ellie, honey, please talk to me first before you do it any more do-it-yourself barbering. Oh, Mom, yelled Maryellen. She ran to Mom and threw her arms around her and hid her face against her. Now I don't want to go to school at all. I understand how you feel, Mom said, hugging her. But you're just going to have to face school, short bangs and all. And your new skirt looks nice, said Dad, cheerfully looking up from his coffee. It's a doozy. That's all right. Just concentrate on your snazzy new skirt, Mom advised. There's no question outfit-wise, you're going to be the most fashionable girl in the 4th grade, right? Maryellen managed a watery grin. I guess so. Mom kissed Maryellen's exposed forehead. Eat your cereal. Soon it'll be time to go. Maryellen sat at the table, one hand pressed against her bangs and the other holding a spoon, which she only pretended to eat. Her stomach was tied in knots. The knots tightened when the doorbell rang and Joan, who was wafting by the front door, called out, Ellie, it's Davy. He's got some other little boy with him. It's that mean boy, Wayne. Beverly hissed. Oh no, Maryellen whispered. Wayne? Maryellen and Davy had planned to ride their bikes to school together, as they always did. But Davy hadn't said anything about including Wayne, of all people. I can't face them, Maryellen said in a panic. Please, somebody tell them I'm not ready. Tell them I'm sick. Tell them that I left already. Mom shook her head. You're going to have to face people sooner or later, she said. You might as well get it over with. I can't, Maryellen will. Wayne is sure to say something smart alecky. This is what happens when girls try to be friends with boys in the 4th grade, said Joan. It never works. I'll handle the boys, said Carolyn heroically. Maryellen cowered in the breakfast nook while Carolyn went straight to the front door and flung it open. Boys, Ellie told me that she doesn't want to ride to school with you, Carolyn said firmly. She's afraid she'll get too sweaty and she doesn't want to ruin her outfit. Maryellen heard Wayne snort and mutter, Typical girl. David just said, oh. He sounded disappointed and confused. Maryellen didn't blame him because Carolyn's excuse did not ring true. Davy knew Maryellen was the kind of girl who never worried about getting messy. Better get going, boys, Carolyn said in a no-nonsense voice. Then before she had completely shut the door, Carolyn turned toward the kitchen and called out, The coast is clear, Eddie. I got rid of the boys like you told me to. Maryellen groaned. Now, Davy was probably mad at her because Carolyn had made it sound like Maryellen wanted him to get lost. So far, this sure wasn't a wonderful start to a wonderful year in the 4th grade that she imagined. Maryellen wondered, could this morning get any worse? As she rode her bike to school, Maryellen tried to forget about her hair and concentrate on her skirt. If anything could salvage this day, the black and pink poodle skirt could. Maybe everyone would be so dazzled by her skirt that they wouldn't notice her hair. When she got to the school playground, where the students were milling around before lining up to go into the skill building, Maryellen parked her bike and looked for Davy so she could apologize to him. Her heart sank when she saw that Davy was shooting baskets with Wayne. Nevertheless, she squared her shoulders and marched herself over toward the boys. "Hey, Ellie," a voice shouted, "we're over here." Maryellen turned and saw Karen King waving wildly amid the throng of students. She waved back and ran to join Karen and Karen, thinking that it would better be to apologize to David later, when he was alone. Halfway to the Karens, Maryellen stopped short. She blinked. Karen Stolen was wearing a black and pink poodle skirt exactly like hers. "Surprise!" the Karen sang out. Karen Stolman twirled, lifting her arms overhead like a ballerina. She was wearing a pink blouse and saddle shoes, too. "Look," said Karen King. "Yesterday, Karen went out and got a poodle skirt just like yours." We're twins, Ellie," Karen Stolman said gaily. "My mother and I went shopping at O'Neill's yesterday, and..." She stopped. "Gosh, Ellie, you cut your bangs." "Whoa, I'll say," said Karen King. "Are they cut them too short?" "Yes," Maryellen said sharply. She turned to Karen Stolman, eager to get off the subject. "So you got your skirt yesterday?" "Yes," said Karen Stolman, "to match yours. Isn't it the best surprise ever?" Said Maryellen. She smiled because she knew the Karens expected her to smile. They expected her to be delighted, to be tickled pink, and she herself thought she should be. But her smile was crooked and forced. She couldn't help but notice that the Karen's ponytail was longer than hers, and of course, Karen didn't have ridiculous bristle bangs like her unfortunate ones. In her heart of hearts, Maryellen had wanted to be unique. She wanted to stand out as the one and only girl in the 4th grade who would look like a movie star. Now she couldn't. In fact, Karen looked more stylish and movie starish than she did. "Karen stole my idea," Maryellen thought. "She's a copycat." "Patty Zender has the same skirt, too," said Karen King. You're kidding," said Maryellen, but for some reason it made her feel a lot better to know about Patty Zender. So I wouldn't have been unique even if Karen Stolman hadn't copied me. The idea of 3 matching poodle skirts on the playground cheered Maryellen up. "Well, we might as well make the best of it," she thought as she waved Patty over to join them. "Come on, Karen," she said. "The 3 of us can pretend we're the McDougal sisters." Maryellen held her hand up to her mouth as if she were a microphone and she was on TV. "Ladies and gentlemen," she announced, we're everyone's favorite trio, the McDougal sisters, and we're going to sing your big hit of 1954, Time to Go." Karen Stolman and Patty giggled, but they sang along with Maryellen. "Time to go, oh, it's time to go." They copied Maryellen and put her hands on her hips and swayed from side to side. When Karen King sang the doot-doot-doot-doot in the background, they twirled around and made her skirt flare. At the end of the song, they sank down in curtsies all at the same time. It turned out to be quite fun to be part of the poodle skirt trio. Singing and dancing helped Maryellen forget about her terrible bangs and the misunderstanding with Davy. She tucked her disappointment and her annoyance at Karen Stolman away, deep down in the hidden corner of her heart, and sang, almost, as if she truly were tickled pink. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.